Okay, it's time for another date night, and because the weather has opened up here in Northern California, I thought there's no better time to go outside than right now. You know, we're all a little cooped up. I was able to get to the store and get a couple of things. I've got some fresh lemons, but otherwise, my goal here is still to use up some of the things that you have at home. You know, I don't even know why I have a can of evaporated milk. A lot of stuff you don't know how it got there in the first place, and today I'm going to help you get rid of some of it. By the way, if you're thinking that giving that money or giving canned goods to the food bank is a good idea, give them money. Give them $10 instead of a bunch of little random cans. The folks that feed the homeless, the folks that feed our first responders, they can make your money go a whole lot farther. There's a program called Hunt, Fish, Feed that Sportsman Channel does. We go all over the country. We've been doing this for 12 years, and we feed homeless vets, military families, homeless folks in general, and we feed them with things like wild turkey. We did a wild turkey Thanksgiving in May, which I'm going to do on another date night coming up in Chicago, and the National Wild Turkey Federation gave us enough turkeys to have Thanksgiving in May with wild turkey, and we fed 600 or 700 people. But today I'm just going to feed a few. Here's one of the things that kills me. So turkey hunters, of which I am one, often go out and they shoot at the biggest turkey they can possibly shoot, and then they throw the rest of the bird away. And the problem with that is there's a lot of really good food that can be had from the rest of that turkey. And I've talked about it a number of times on the Sporting Chef show. By the way, in case you didn't know, I host a show called Sporting Chef, another show called Dead Meat, and they're both on Sportsman Channel. So I save my legs. I save my thighs. This is a pair of legs from a wild turkey. There's 2 of them in there, it says. Got them in my food saver bag, so I know they're not going to get freezer burnt. This was labeled April 2019, so this is last year's bird, so I want to eat it first. I also have half a breast from that. But what you want to do with these wild turkey legs is to cook them low and slow. You want to braise them. So what you do, you put a little oil into a heavy-duty pot like this. You take your turkey legs and you want to get them browned. Where the flavor is going to come from, a lot of the flavor is browning these things. So just put them right on top of the stove and get it nice and brown. I'm going to go ahead and get it started over here. Let me season it a little bit. I'm going to use some High Mountain Chipotle rub. If you don't have any High Mountain Chipotle rub, a little salt and pepper will do. I just want it to get browned, then I'm going to add some other stuff to it. But first, oil, hot, browned. The braising of the turkey legs takes hours. I'm talking 4 to 5 hours. But I'll show you how it's all done, but I want to make a little drink because it's date night. Got some ice in here. This is Drop Tine Bourbon. Drop Tine Bourbon whiskey finished in brandy barrels. This is a great product. And this is a product made by people like us who do the kind of things that we like to do. Hence the name Drop Tine. Little honey. I didn't have any regular club soda, which is what I would normally put in here. Little iced tea. Couple of cherries. Now you can muddle these cherries, you can mash them up if you want or not. Little lemon juice. So you've got the tartness of the lemon juice, of course you've got the bourbon in there. Give it a good shake. Glass of ice. I'm not one of those people that looks at the cocktail menu when I go to a restaurant, but I know some of you are. But, you know, I kind of surprised myself with that. I'm just kind of throwing stuff together, and I thought the tea would work well. I'm going to drink the whole thing. Now, wild turkey breast. This is the easy part. But what I want to do is get a lot of this wild turkey juice out of here, because that's not going to do me any good. That can go there. This is the tenderloin, okay? A lot of times people will take this little tendon here, and if you just put it on a hard surface and cut that right off. I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna fry it, because I know that's what a lot of people do, and I just happen to have the stuff to fry it. I'm gonna cut around that little tendon. If you look at how thick a turkey breast is, now this turkey, as I recall, was about, I don't know, 17 pounds, 16, 17 pounds, wasn't huge, good size. What we have here in California, we've got Rios, in case anybody wants to know. There's a little gristly part right about here on a turkey breast that I like to work around. I like to take this part out right here, any of the white stuff, because that's going to make it a little tough. And one of the things that we hear most often about wild turkey from people that don't know how to cook wild turkey is that it's really tough and dry. Compared to a domestic turkey, it has about half the fat. These things actually run around and do a lot of work. So if you treat it like a domestic turkey, it's not going to work because it's going to be tough and dry. I cook internal temperature on something like these turkey breasts. I'm going to cook them to about 155 to 160 degrees, and that's when a lot of people completely freak out, because they say, man, that's not going to be cooked. But what it's going to be is cooked but not overcooked. A turkey timer, when you buy those turkeys from the grocery store, the turkey timer pops up, the little pop-up deal pops up at around roughly 180, 185 degrees. If you do that to your wild turkey, it'll be wild turkey sawdust. Okay, so over on the braising side with the legs, once the legs are brown, I threw some vegetables on. I've got celery, carrot, onion. You can use the trim ends. You can use the part you normally throw away. You can put in onion skins. I don't care. That's just adding flavor. I also added some red wine. Don't use good red wine. You can, if you don't have any wine around, you can put a can of beer on there. You want to have about, at least the liquid going up about halfway up those turkey legs, and then cover it with a tight-fitting lid. Check it, because you don't ever want to lose the liquid in there. If after an hour or so the liquid's gone, you want to keep adding liquid to it. If the lid is a tight-fitting lid, that's good, but you want to set the temperature on low. This is low and slow. I haven't tried putting these turkey legs in an Instapot and a pressure cooker and speeding up the process. I just like the flavor of a braise better. A real braise where you've got browned meat and vegetables and wine adding flavor. But again, if you don't like wine, you just need some liquid. It can be beef broth, chicken broth, don't care, liquid. If after 3 or 4 hours you look at it and you go, man, this meat is never gonna get tender, I want you to know that I don't care how big a turkey it was, how big that beard was, as long as you go low and slow with a little bit of liquid, that braise will eventually make it tender. To that, I'm gonna add a little other stuff to it, make a little pulled pork-like thing out of it. But on the breast, I'm gonna do what a lot of people do, and I'm gonna fry it. But before I fry it, I'm gonna pound it a little bit, and that's going to make these pieces more tender. And if they are of even thickness, they're going to fry better. You won't have uncooked and overcooked spots. The whole idea is to make them all of relative thickness. I use a heavy-duty zipper lock type bag. Lightly pound them. And you can see when you have it pounded this thin, it's going to cook a lot quicker. Now, you would normally use egg wash, milk, whatever. I'm going to use up this evaporated milk here because I didn't really know that it was in my refrigerator, or I didn't know that it was in my pantry, and so I might as well get rid of it instead of waiting for the next canned food drive. So, evaporated milk, eggs, opener. You don't want to use condensed milk, too sweet. This is the High Mountain Brisket and Prime Rib Rub. So I'm going to add it over here. I've got some panko. I'm going to also season the turkey itself. So it's going to go in here first. This is breadcrumbs and masa flour. You know, the same stuff that you make tortillas with. And it's going to give it kind of a masa-like flavor, a tortilla-like flavor. Again, I've added some of the brisket rub in there. Now I'm going to also put some in here and shake these guys up. These guys, I'm going to give them a little soak over here in that evaporated milk and egg wash. And then from there, they're going to go into the breadcrumbs to make them crunchy. All right, let me clean up my mess and figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, with the wild turkey breast, I'm going to make a little sauce, just a very, very simple aioli, mayonnaise. Let's say you're out of mayonnaise. One of the easiest things in the world to make is mayonnaise, aioli, whatever you want to call it. This is what the fried turkey looks like after it's been in the masa, that egg and evaporated milk wash. I'm going to make a little sauce with that. I've got a garlic clove in there now, lemon juice, more lemon juice. You could use a little vinegar if you want. You just want something acidic. If you get a seed or two in there, nothing bad will happen. I usually do. You could use sugar or just a little bit of honey. Just a little bit of Dijon mustard. Some salt. An egg. So I'm going to keep the whites, but I only want the yolks. So I'll keep the whites for tomorrow's omelet. Oops. Yolk. Yolk. So for those people that are freaked out about having raw eggs, you can cook your egg if you like. I'm not freaked out about eggs, but that's entirely your choice. Eggs don't scare me. Coronavirus doesn't scare me. What? The coronavirus doesn't scare him? Nah, I'm good with it. Process. While the motor is running, olive oil. That's going to emulsify. If you had some fresh basil, that would be good in there. You know what I do have? Let me tell you what I have. I've got, this is how good my friends are. This is a buddy of mine, Paul, from Virginia, who I've worked with on the Hunt Fish Feed program. Paul's with Comcast. I'm going to take some of these ramps. He's got, so for those who don't know, on the West Coast where we live, we don't have ramps. This is it's a wild onion. I've got the flowers in there too. This is, Paul sent me ramps. It's the greens and the bulbs, black pepper, Himalayan pink salt. And for those who dehydrate, 24 hours at 115 degrees is what Paul does. Now back to the emulsifying. And the reason this olive oil is going in very slowly And you know, there's a way to make hollandaise. It's kind of the same situation here, except you use hot. Look at that, okay? That's perfect. If I wanted to keep going and put more of the olive oil in there, then it'll thicken up just like a regular mayonnaise, just like the stuff you buy at the store. It's really, really, really easy to make. One thing that everybody should know is how to make mayonnaise, and again, how to clean up my mess. Stay with me, I just got to tidy up again one more time. So I had this thing of the little tube of biscuits that people bring over for holidays, and it's been in my freezer forever. So I thawed it out, and I'm making some biscuits to go with my pulled wild turkey legs. And I didn't want to wait a whole lot longer because it looks like I was getting close to burnt, but you can smell it. You know, if you walk into a room, you walk into a kitchen and it smells like something's burnt, as my buddy C-Dub would say,
we have a little saying in our camp: if it smells done, it's done. If it smells burnt, it's burnt. If you can't smell it, it's not done.
So these are the little things from my sliders, and what I'm going to make the sliders out of. This is the result of 2 turkey legs that have been braised and all the meat's been pulled off, and then I saved the bones also, and the bones are going to go into my stockpile when I'm making turkey stock, wild turkey stock. Meanwhile, I've got all this delicious pulled wild turkey meat that a lot of you folks throw away, and I want you to stop doing that. I'm going to make a little barbecue sauce for it. Now, I was a little low on barbecue sauce. This is just some basic cheap barbecue sauce, but I did find a little to-go packet of sweet chili sauce. So I'll put that in there. That's going to be both sweet and a little bit hot. And you know, one of the things we've been able to keep around the Leysath house during the pandemic is limes. And so for those of you that like having the occasional cocktail, you'll know that limes come in handy. If you go to, there's a company called, it's either True Lime, True Lemon, whatever it is. I carry these little packets of True Lime, True Lemon, True Grapefruit, and True Lemon, and they come in little single serve packets, or you can get a bigger container of them, and all it is dehydrated citrus. So True Grapefruit I carry with me on my top pocket when I travel, because a lot of places don't have grapefruit, and I do happen to have a fondness for vodka soda with just a little splash of grapefruit. There's my barbecue sauce going into that, and that's not quite enough liquid, so I might as well add a little, we'll call it a bourbon lime barbecue sauce. This is going to go over to the Camp Chef Woodwind, and I'm going to warm this up right here. All right, that's warming up. Let me know if you see any smoke coming out of here. No, not that. All right, this is my fried turkey. Here's my ramp aioli. We'll put that around the outside there. Then, of course, let me get some more of Paul's ramp blend. And again, sorry, West Coast, we don't have ramps. I grew up with them in Virginia. Paul gets them all out of West Virginia and Virginia. So for those folks that don't get Sportsman Channel, I want you to check out My Outdoor TV, motv.com. Use the promo code SportingChef, all caps, I believe, and you get 30 days to check it out. As with any of those deals where you get 30 days to check it out, they're going to ask for your credit card. So you've seen it before. You put your credit card in, then you forget about the whole thing, and it automatically will charge you after 30 days unless you cancel. So set a little reminder on your calendar if you decide you want to keep it. I think it's a great deal. You're going to get a whole lot of shows from Sportsman Channel, Outdoor Channel, and the World Fishing Network, as well as a lot of unique stuff that is only on my outdoor TV. My pulled turkey has warmed up. See, this is that turkey that a lot of people throw away, and it is absolutely delicious. Yes, it's dark meat, which is what I like. And for those who are looking for more recipes like this, you can go to sportingchef.com. That's my website. I have a blog on Winchester. If you go to Winchester, somewhere, just Winchester blog, you'll find it. There's my sliders here. If you're looking for the recipes from this show, well, you're just not going to find them. This show is all about making use of what we've got at home, using up what we have on the inventory, because I know at any day now, somebody's going to say, hey, guess what? You can go anywhere you want. You can catch fish. You can go hunting. You can get out in the woods. You don't have to be 6 feet apart from everybody. And I know everybody's going to be freaked out for a little bit. But what have we learned during the pandemic? Well, we've learned that we can use up stuff that we were kind of moving around and we were avoiding all these years. And the fact that we hunt and fish makes us that much more important, because we have freezers full of fish and game that we've taken care of all year long. And thank you for joining me for yet another date night. I'm going to finish my bourbon cocktail, and you should do exactly that. Night, night.